I gripped the edge of the chair, balancing precariously on the rickety thing as I reached up to the porch light fixture. The bulb flickered ominously, and I could feel the weight of the night pressing down around me. My name is Eric Thompson, 32 years old, a freelance graphic designer trying to find my footing in a world that often felt as loose and unpredictable as this socket. My heart raced, not just from the effort of reaching, but from the awareness of her presence below. "Careful up there, Eric," she said, her voice smooth as silk, laced with an undercurrent of something I couldn't quite place. I glanced down, locking eyes with my landlady, Claire. She was in her late 40s, with hair that cascaded like dark waves past her shoulders. Tonight, she wore a silk shirt, unbuttoned just enough to reveal a hint of her collarbone. The soft glow from the porch light cast shadows across her face, highlighting her sharp cheekbones and the slight curve of her lips, which carried a knowing smile. It was disarming, and I felt a heat rise in my cheeks that I desperately tried to ignore. "Yeah, I know," I replied, my voice coming out a little more strained than I intended. I shifted my weight and reached for the screwdriver she had just handed me, her fingers brushing against mine. A brief spark of electricity jolted through me. "Just trying to get this fixed before it gets too dark." "Good. I needed you here," she said, arms folded, her gaze unwavering. Her words hung in the air between us, thick and laden with unspoken meaning. It was a simple statement, but the way she said it made my pulse quicken. I'd been living in this house for nearly a year now, and our interactions had always been polite but distant. There was a boundary, an unspoken rule that we both understood, landlady and tenant. Yet here we were, teetering on the edge of something that felt dangerously close to intimacy. "Is that so?" I asked, trying to sound nonchalant, but my voice cracked slightly. "What do you need me for?" She tilted her head, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Oh, I could think of a few things, but for now, let's just focus on that light." I looked away, feigning concentration on the task at hand. I tightened my grip on the screwdriver, my knuckles whitening. The light fixture felt more like a metaphor than a simple repair. It was as if I were trying to fix something much deeper than a broken bulb. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and the neighborhood was bathed in the soft glow of streetlights. The night air was thick with the scent of damp grass and blooming jasmine. I could hear the distant hum of a lawnmower, the chirping of crickets, and the occasional bark of a dog. It was a typical suburban night, yet in this moment, with Claire watching me, everything felt charged. I adjusted my position on the chair, trying to shake off the feeling that we were both aware of the line we were approaching. I reached up again, and the socket felt loose beneath my fingertips. "This thing is really wobbly," I muttered, more to myself than to her. "Need another tool?" she asked, stepping closer. I looked down just in time to see her reach into the toolbox at her feet. She pulled out a pair of pliers, the metallic glint catching the light, and handed them to me with an ease that felt almost choreographed. Our fingers brushed again, and this time, I couldn't ignore the warmth that spread through me. "Thanks," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I glanced down, caught off guard by the way she was looking at me, her eyes dark and inviting, as if she could see right through the facade I tried to maintain. "Do you always help out your landlady?" she asked, her tone teasing, but there was an edge of sincerity there too. "Only when the light is broken," I replied, attempting to match her playful energy, though my heart raced at the implications of her question. "It's part of the lease agreement." She chuckled softly, leaning against the porch railing, her body angled toward me. "Is that so? I didn't realize I had such a handy tenant." I felt a mix of pride and embarrassment at her compliment. "I'm not that handy," I admitted, "but I'll do what I can." With the pliers, I tightened the screws on the socket, feeling the tension build between us. The air was thick with unspoken words, and I could sense the shift in our dynamic, the way she lingered just a moment too long, her gaze never wavering from me. Do you ever get tired of just fixing things? She asked suddenly, her voice dropping to a more serious tone. I paused, my heart racing in my chest. What do you mean? She shrugged, looking out into the darkness for a moment before meeting my eyes again. I mean, we all have our roles, right? You fix things, I manage this place. But do you ever wonder what it would be like to break free from those roles? Her question hung in the air, a challenge wrapped in curiosity. I felt a pang of vulnerability, as if she had peeled back a layer I hadn't intended to reveal. Sometimes, I admitted, my voice low, but it's complicated. Complicated how? I hesitated, weighing my words carefully. It's just, I don't want to overstep. You're my landlady, and I'm just the guy who fixes things. Just the guy, she repeated, her eyebrow raised. You're not just anything, Eric. You're here, and you're present. That counts for something. Her words struck a chord deep within me, and I felt a rush of warmth. Thanks, I guess, I murmured, unsure of how to respond. I turned my attention back to the light, focusing on the task. But the tension was palpable, and I could feel her eyes on me, studying me. I tightened the last screw and flipped the switch. The light flickered to life, illuminating the porch and casting a warm glow around us. I stepped back, wiping my hands on my jeans, and turned to her. Looks like it's fixed, I said, a sense of relief washing over me. Claire stepped into the light, her silhouette framed by the soft glow. It looks beautiful, she said, her voice softening. But I think we both know it's not just the light you came to fix. I swallowed hard, my heart racing. What do you mean? Look at it, she said, gesturing toward the light. Now look at me. I hesitated, caught in the intensity of her gaze. I glanced back at the light, which now shone brightly, then slowly turned my attention to her. The world around us faded into a blur, and all I could focus on was her. What did I come to fix? I asked, feeling the weight of her scrutiny. She took a step closer, the space between us shrinking. You came to fix the light, but you also came for something else, didn't you? Something you're not ready to admit. I felt my breath hitch in my throat, the vulnerability of the moment threatening to overwhelm me. I don't know what you mean. Eric, she said softly, her voice low and inviting. You can be honest with me. I'm not just your landlady. I'm also a person who sees you. The air between us crackled with electricity, and I felt an overwhelming urge to close the distance further. I wanted to reach out, to touch her, to explore the uncharted territory of this moment. But fear held me back, fear of what it would mean for our fragile dynamic. I came here to fix the light, I repeated, my voice shaky. But Stop, she interrupted, her gaze piercing. Don't lie to yourself. You came here because you wanted to be close to me. You wanted to feel something real. Her words were a revelation and a curse all at once. I had felt it, the pull between us, the desire to breach the barrier that separated us. But admitting it out loud was another matter entirely. I'm not sure, I started, but she stepped forward, closing the distance between us, her presence engulfing me. Sometimes, Eric, we have to take risks, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. What's the worst that could happen? I searched her eyes, looking for the truth behind her words. There was something raw and honest in her gaze, something that made me feel seen in a way I hadn't experienced in years. But the stakes were high, and I could feel the weight of my choices pressing down on me. I could lose everything, I said, my voice strained. This is my home, my life. And what about your heart? She asked, her voice softening. I closed my eyes, feeling the truth of her words resonating deep within me. I had been so focused on maintaining the status quo, on fixing what was broken, that I hadn't allowed myself to consider what I truly wanted. I started, but the words caught in my throat. Then say it, she urged, stepping even closer, her eyes searching mine. In that moment, I felt a surge of courage. I want to be more than just a tenant, I admitted, my voice trembling. She smiled, a genuine smile that lit up her face, and for a brief moment, the world around us faded away. The porch light flickered above us, casting a warm glow that felt like a promise. "Then be more," she whispered, her breath warm against my skin. But just as I felt the weight of her words settle in, a car pulled up out front, the headlights washing over us like a spotlight. We both froze, the air thick with tension as the moment shattered. "Shit," I muttered, stepping back instinctively. Claire turned, her expression shifting from warmth to something guarded, as if she realized the precarious nature of our situation. "We should." "Yeah, we should," I agreed, my heart racing. As the car door opened and footsteps approached, I felt the fragile connection between us slip away, replaced by the familiar boundaries we had both been trying to navigate. We exchanged a look, a silent agreement that this moment would remain suspended in time, unresolved yet filled with promise. "Eric," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around us. "We'll talk later." I nodded, my heart heavy with the weight of what could have been. The car door slammed shut, and I turned away, retreating into the safety of the shadows. As the night closed in around me, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted between us, a delicate balance of desire and fear that would linger long after the porch light went out. And in that uncertainty, I found a glimmer of hope. Hope for what was yet to come, and for the possibility of fixing more than just a broken light.